Yesterday, I saw my father for the last time. The last thing he said to me before he passed away was, "You look like you're about to be cremated." What I heard was the sound of my son crying, "Mommy, I'm so cold. Please let me in." I shut the curtains, knowing it wouldn't help much if he ever found another way. It was dark, cold, and smells in my apartment. I hated it and knew it was only a matter of time before I would leave this apartment and head to the woods. I've been telling my husband for months that I love him. He doesn't believe me. "This is a child," the officer said, shaking my arm. "An accident caused your organ to fail." Before the doctors had told me my baby sister had cancer, they had told me my baby brother had cancer as well. But at that moment, I knew he didn't. Grandpa got a speeding ticket last night, and he wanted to see the judge. But the cop told him that they won't let him in because of his age. My husband has a bad habit of checking our garage door from the outside. Today he's been staring at the one that just opened. Our grandmother died giving birth to our father. Now that he is a man, he feels the need to make sure every last baby in the world lives. Every night as I lay in bed, I prayed to God to send my rapist back to me. I dreamed he would return with a chainsaw and I would die of suffocation. They once thought they could change the mind of the dead by simply touching their forehead. But when a vengeful scientist tries that very same technique on the living, everything changes. Today I found my cat curled up in the fetal position in my bed, staring at the ceiling. She's been dead for over a week now, but I still can't believe she went this long without eating. How the hell am I still alive? And where am I? My wife is very upset with me today because I told her about the horror of having a child with cancer. She said she would understand if I kept it a secret, but she really wants me to go to chemo. My daughter texted me at work today to say, "Dad, I saw your cat outside." When I went to pick her up, I found her wearing her pajamas on her bed, with the cat's paw prints all over her. Who I am, my name is, you have been my victim for almost 3 months. I want to know how you did it. Grandma always said my sister would be my best friend, and am glad she was right. She's not that cute anymore. Last night, I woke up to the sound of my ex-wife screaming at the top of her lungs as she slammed the blinds of our apartment wide open. I was relieved to find no one else in our 10th-story apartment, so I quickly called 911 and asked them to check the building under the pretense of a suicide attempt. My uncle worked for the local fire department, and he always told me that there was a monster in my house. As I climbed the stairs to go home from the basement, I saw his reflection in the mirror staring back at me. A cat walked into my bedroom in the middle of the night. Before I could react, it was on my husband's bed, feline hair flowing freely from under his sheets. Where you lie, your body reacts to all kinds of different things. The thing that always disturbs me the most is when something comes out of your body. After holding her for 10 minutes, I finally let her go. She looked up at me with tears in her eyes and said, "I wish I were dead." I knew she didn't mean it when she said, "But I don't care." People around the world are mourning the victims of last week's terrible earthquake in Nepal. I'm sad too, because as a child I felt the same shaking in my bones as I do now. His dad told me he had the cure for my epilepsy, and so I started taking it. As I felt my legs shaking, the doctor told me it would only work on heavy hitters, and I knew he was right. When the kidnapper put me in a coffin, I thought it would be the last thing I saw. But as the metal coffin rumbled to a halt, I saw the eyes of the man behind it. Why I hate the summer. In August, it's just so darn hot. And it's so darn humid. Her grandmother died of cancer when she was 72. So this Christmas, I'm giving my grandpa a proper send-off. My son started crying that he was so cold all day, and I could feel the tears fall from his eyes. I knew he didn't like being cold, but I didn't know what else to do. In a small village, the elderly priest came to me one day to tell me that the town was in the grip of a demonic horde that would soon ravage it. As he spoke, his arm began to glow a bright red, and his words rang out in my head like an artillery shell. My aunt was adamant about not letting me touch a real human. My father was equally adamant about not letting me eat real human. She's been hiding in my closet for years. I finally found her today, and she has no idea who I am. He said, "He'll be back in 10 minutes, I promise," and I promised to take my medication and go to sleep. And then I fell asleep. My mother had no idea what I was doing, but she told me I needed to be careful with the things that haunted her. As the night wore on, she grew more and more uneasy, remembering the night when she found a fresh cut on her hand. The doctor gave me a prescription for the sleeping pill my doctor said I needed. But I don't need that anymore. I looked over my son's shoulder at the street lamp and smiled. There's a new police car in the parking lot.